And another thing that I'd like to add to assemble tools are the cutting data. For this, we're having this cutting data tab. When I click on it, I see that there is no part material defined so far. For this, I have to add a new item. By item is the part material meant. I have one for aluminum, and the surface speed for aluminum shall be 250 millimeters per second, and a feet per tooth like 0.15 millimeters. Not just one material can be assigned, I can assign another one. So let's say once more, add new item. I want this tool to be used in steel as well. So I'm selecting the steel material, apply with OK. What is the surface speed? Let's slow down a little bit, just like that. So the teeth of the tool won't be broken, won't be worn out so fast. But actually, that's it. That's how I create a new assemble tool. When I click on next, once more the final preview, click on finish. There we go. That's the new tool that we just have created. Click on this little arrow, I see that a new tool with the description of ASM JANUS just arrived in my NX session. And now I see that this tool looks like exactly the very tool that we have created in Technology Manager. That means, on the other hand, this tool can now be used for actually all my operations. Let's say I want to make this operation instead of the old tool. So I'm grabbing the operation, dropping it at the new tool, and regenerate the tool path. There we go. Now we have created the old operation, but with the new tool instead. Quite cool so far. Good. But what is the problem so far? We are having a problem according to the feet and speed. When we take a close look at them, we see that the feet and speed of this tool for this part material, the parts material, by the way, is being defined in the workpiece, and for now it's set on aluminum. So when I take a look at this operation that is being used, using the old tool, and this operation that now has been assigned to the new tool, we see that the feet and speed are still the same, even though I'm using another tool. So how do we get those cutting data that we defined for this particular tool, I mean those here, how do we get those cutting data into an X, into this operation? For this, we have a technology icon. When I click on the technology icon, TMGR is checking every single operation that is being selected for now in the next session and shows it to me in this window. So what do we see? What do we see? We see, first of all, the operations name. It's this here, value profile, that's a wave profile. So we see this operation. This operation is using that tool. There it is, that's the ASM JANUS, or the name 73, just like in here. We see another values, for instance, the number of loots, we see the tools diameter, and so on and so on. What we also see is, let me show it like this, the feet and speed. So for now, that operation, that tool, is using a feet of like 3.2 meters per minute. That's this value, also shown here, and has a RPM of roughly 4,000. That's this value in here. But this tool that we want to use is supposed to have a way slower feed, like 750 millimeters per minute, and also a way slower RPM. How do we get those values into an X? We just click on this play icon that says send data to an X. When I click on it, Technology Manager has sent those values to an X. For now, we see that the old values are still in here, but once I click on an X, please pay attention. In 3, 2, 1, boom, we see that the values has been actualized. Okay, so this goes not just for a selected operation. If I don't have anything selected at all, I can make a refresh of all the operations. TMGR is checking all the operations with all the tools that are in my current NX session and checks if the values are according to the database values or not. I can switch it to the so-called compact mode and just update all my tool data, just like that. So all my feeds and speed are now absolutely correct. Okay. Let's say another example. Let's say I assumed that the parts material was aluminum, but then I've met the case that it's not aluminum, it's steel. So I'm changing the parts material from aluminum to the steel, apply with OK, and for now we see that all those values are still the old aluminum ones. So how do I get that correctly done? I'm just refreshing the list in Technology Manager. I'm sending the data to an X, and now I'm finished. Now all my values are correct according to the parts material. And maybe I've mentioned it, that the values are not being shown instantly on the right one. It's a actualize issue according to an X. That's not our fault. You just have to click once on the operation, then you will see the current value of it, of the feeds and speed, what is absolutely